Peace, 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 peace and black power, peace and black power. Y'all know what it is. I'm back with another video. Always banging on that beat. You know how I do it on this channel, you know. Underground Warrior TV back at you. King Chris. Pan-African TV. Doing it like we always do it. Make sure y'all come in, mashing up those likes. Mash up those likes. Put me in the algorithm, because you know the entity, the machine, don't like me much. You feel me? But y'all support a brother. Look, we going right on in on this video right here, y'all, because I just don't understand some of us as black people. I don't understand the president of Kenya. He want to engage himself in Western affairs when it comes to the oppression of our people. If you got on the side of our people, I can understand. But you taking sides against the West. You want to go to Haiti. William Ruto of Kenya, the president. He speaks Pan-African, but does otherwise. But the wise know. This video is about William Ruto, who's now have taken up with Bill Gates to implement a program called digital identification. The Kenyan people will be exposed to this new technology. What kills me is that the newborn babies of Kenya will be injected, yes, injected with this ID into their bodies. This is very dangerous. Bill Gates, who already bringing genetically modified food and seeds into Africa, Kenya also, as well as other countries. I could say this without getting a strike on the channel. Bill Gates in other areas of Africa, you know, get behind certain medications or injections, and I believe they say some of the Africans suffer because of some of his experiment medication on the populace. We're going to leave that there. But how could a president who speaks Pan-African, how could William Ruto trust Bill Gates, who had done nothing for Africa but advocate a method to depopulate Africa? He is the agent of the United States. See, I pay attention. Bill Gates believes in depopulating the planet. I heard the speeches for myself about releasing CO2, whatever that is, into the air. I believe that's chemtrails, to kill off people because the planet is overbearing with people. I always thought that was farce, because people die, people being born. People die, it's like an exchange. William Ruto must be replaced by a president who will not bend over backwards for the West. Yes, Ruto knows the history. William Ruto knows the history of Africa. He knows the Western mistreatment of the people. You know the history. Every time you deal with the West, it's a one-sided beneficiary in the relationship or business with the Western world, whether that be France, Great Britain, Portugal, America. Africans always get the short stick for the natural resources that have been stolen out of African nations by European people. Yes, I believe that we Pan-Africans are well aware of the Western powers whose mission is to destabilize Africa so the West can manipulate and steal the raw resources, the rich raw resources of Africa. Bill Gates will be taking his digital ID to Kenya, forcing digital ID to implement to the Kenyan newborn children will be injected with this technology, this chip. I know this technology would not be any good. I know this technology would not be any good for the African people. This is surveillance. This particular technology, Bill Gates proclaimed it would help locate any medical problems faster and quicker because the medical history of the child would be on a handprint. Digital ID. This is an implant of technology that keeps surveillance to know where you at. You got to understand the Europeans' war mind right now. Niggas is just not up to date. William Ruto must be getting paid a paycheck to put his people through some trauma. No white government has brought peace and stability to Africa. No white government, no Western nation ever brought peace and stability to Africa. How can William Ruto be so gullible? He's not gullible. He knows that Europeans always, the white Americans always bring death and destruction to Africa, either by military, through the medical field, they use all kind of methods to destroy Africans. How can William Ruto be so gullible, black people, when dealing with the United States, France, Great Britain, Israel? There's no beneficial aspects for Africa when dealing with Western nations who often be Africans and steal Africans' natural resources. In return, Africans get nothing but a small amount of revenue. Go somewhere, dog. Go. Go play. Go lay down. You messing with me. I'm doing a video, Lido. Come on, stop it. You want to go outside? Come on. Hold up, y'all. You want to go outside? Come on. Come on. You is on the channel. Y'all ready? Y'all sit down. Get on, come on. Now get it good. I done let 3 dogs out. 3 dogs out. Y'all want to bug me while I'm making my video. All right, they beat Africans, man, out of their natural resources. In return, Africans get nothing but small amounts of revenue that will only support the puppets, presidents of Africa. America makes sure to put in a puppet to control the resources to Africa. So when these puppets get in, the puppets take the money from the United States or France and take care of their families and their cabinet and their military. The rest of the people get nothing. You see, Bill Gates will be feeding Africa with GMO foods. He have already allocated some genetic modified seeds to Kenya. Bill Gates have convinced some Africans to destroy the method of growing its own food naturally for GMO. Are you crazy? Africa, you have the richest soil in the world. How can you import? How can you import other people's vegetation? Anything of that matter, you have the richest resources on the planet. But you know what? Other nations, African nations are waking up. So Kenya president gonna have to change his tune if he want to stay in power, because the youth is not going to have it. The people of Kenya is not going to have it. No one supports William Ruto, who's supposed to be a Pan-African. No one supports William Ruto, who wants to join the United States and France and Canada and Germany. He wants to collaborate with them people to go into Haiti to kill off the Africans who are rising up. They call them gangs. And barbecue is only called barbecue because his family cooked barbecue in Haiti. That's why he got that last name or that nickname, barbecue. But America is trying to say this brother over there cooking people, the propaganda machine. But GMO, that's technology geared to destroy African people's health. With this technology, a digital ID, I'm willing to bet that this chip inserted into black African babies will ultimately bring destruction to the health of Africans. Nothing that the West offer African people is beneficial. Bill Gates has no real ambition on helping Africans. He has artificial love for humanity. He is the agent for the United States to help depopulate Africa. This is what this is all about, William Ruto. This is what this is all about, Mr. Ruto. You feel me? Ruto bowing to the West, sending African military to Haiti to oppress African people. This guy is off his rockets. You're not a Pan-African. You dealing with Bill Gates, whose father, William Bill Gates Jr., whose father was a eugenics. Why is Bill Gates funding vaccine programs for African children instead of supporting immediate relief like electricity, clean water, food? But he deals with Monsanto. Y'all know what Monsanto is all about. He supported this particular company, Monsanto, whose pesticides and seeds and GMO were killing the people with poison. Heavily used, he lobbied in favor of genetically modified organism, GMO, pesticides, and herbicides, toxic to the environment of human health. Is this the guy? This is the guy who supported Monsanto, Bill Gates, who made genetic poisons and put in fertilizers and foods. This guy, Bill Gates, William Ruto, has allowed to convince him to implement a program and let me show y'all this video to let y'all know I ain't just capping.
Now, it even gets worse. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is continuing its global push to support its so-called government-backed digital ID programs, and this time setting its sight on Kenya, where it will advise the government on that country's Maisha Namba digital ID initiative that is currently under development. So, according to a Kenyan news agency, Gates' role is assisting the Kenyan government in its development, and the rollout of Maisha Namba was announced after a recent series of the closed-door meetings with Kenyan President William Ruto. According to Biometric Update, Maisha Namba is supposedly expected to address different challenges, such as identifying and authenticating citizens, safeguarding primary registration documents such as birth certificates and national identity cards, and improving the management of the social programs and government operations. The project has been met with skepticism in some parts of the country. Rights groups have also been expressing concern over the possibility of discrimination and the erosion of privacy. But listen, I just told you in a very nice way. Now let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body. Think about that, but have a listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able to launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise, as an ID, that they should be able to be identified digitally using their iris or their fingerprints, and we can transact without the necessity of people struggling to identify who they are. And the proudest part of it is that we don't have to spend the billions that we have spent on all the other manenos, as all of you know.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
You know.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
Kenya is in serious trouble. Now, for you to accept this, that means you're going to be completely surveilled and controlled. Think about it. So they have targeted the new babies, of course, even the ordinary citizens, the grown-ups, the young ones, the teenagers, and even the elderly ones will receive this digital ID. But they will then create a new generation where they'll be completely under this digital ID and they have no choice.
Yes, brothers and sisters, this is what's going down on the continent of Africa. These corrupt presidents, this has been going on for years, all for the love of the money. This is the same president that denounced the American dollar, but at the same time, he's willing to take the American dollar to go into Haiti, invade Haiti in the cause of white supremacy. How the hell are you going to be a Pan-African? I saluted and praised William Ruto a couple years ago when he didn't bow down to the American persuasion to accept LGBTQ as a culture, and that's not the African culture in Kenya. Kamala Harris visited the continent, and when she went to Kenya, she tried to get William Ruto and persuade William Ruto to let LGBTQ be a way of life in Africa. When it's against the culture of Africa, he did not bow to the West for money. The foreign aid from America was swiped away because William Ruto refused to accept gay agenda as a way of life in Africa. It's a crime. He did not bow down to the West. He stayed to the culture, stayed true to the culture and his people on the gay agenda. But goddamn, why is he slipping with Bill Gates by accepting this gay agenda? I mean, this this digital ID, this digital ID. The philanthropist Bill Gates' aid to Africa has always been dead aid, in which a book confirmed it by a sister named Dambizia Moyo has a book out called Dead Aid. Now, Dead Aid is what Bill Gates promote. Dead Aid, the book argued that the foreign aid to Africa has not only failed to achieve its intended goal of reducing poverty and promoting economic growth, but it has also contributed to the economic stagnation and political corruptness in Kenya, in Africa, period. Bill Gates called her book evil. Why? Because he fits this criteria of giving dead aid to Africa that only benefit the president, the cabinet, and the military of his regiment. Her book spoke bold truth about the evils in Africa. Her truth spoke the bold truth about the evils in Africa. And Bill Gates called the book evil because he fits the mold and criteria of a Westerner who only sees Africa as a way to depopulate and keep Africa destable. Never stabilize the country. Westerners always deal with Africans where they get beneficial, they be benefiting for being in Africa. The Western world do not be in Africa unless it's the best interest of the white people. You see what I'm saying? They always deal with the Africans, dishonor the Africans when they deal with the Africans. Peace, black power. Mash up the likes, share this video. I'm gone.